Hey guys, I'll see you guys tonight at 9 p.m. for Fallout Equestria Dead Tree, and I'll see you Sunday at 3 p.m. all Eastern Standard Time for Warhammer 40k RPG. In addition to this, I have a book coming out. It's linked in the description below. Go check it out. See you there, and in the meantime, on with the review. Hello everyone. Welcome to this review of Vermintide 2's new DLC, and why you should care or not. So, I'm going to start this off with, I am slightly disappointed. Yes, it gives us new maps in Vermintide 2, but here's my issue. And I'm upset about this. These aren't really new maps. These are Vermintide 1 maps, all three of them. Horn of Magnus, Garden of Moor, Engines of War. The idea is that you were being sent back using an illusion to remember the events and it makes me sad. There's one new weapon instead of the usual 2 or 3 that we've gotten from previous games, from the previous game and its DLCs, and we're reusing maps. Alright, well, let's go take a look at them. I mean, if you played Vermintide 1, you played Horn of Magnus. So this level. I mean, the new effect to indicate this is a part of that DLC instead of a normal one which has the bubble, I kind of like. I wanted a private game. And it just didn't give me a private game. Let's go. I mean, I know one of these guys. So, yeah, and so the excuse is you're looking for some magical artifact to help you out against the Skaven that she needs. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to play back through the level. Like, that's just how this is going to be. And that's my problem. I'm going to play back through the level. Any other new weapons or new illusions are just reused assets from the previous game, except one. The Elven hand axe. It's not even like a war axe like this dwarven monstrosity I'm walking around with. It's a single-handed weapon. And it's the only real new weapon with any new weapon mechanics, and it's the same weapon mechanics as the dwarven hand axe. Which, in my opinion, makes the dwarf less unique. And that's a problem. It really kind of just grinds in my craw that they would think that this is I mean, it's not bad DLC. It's nice to be able to play some of the old levels with my Vermintide 2 special abilities. It's nice to be able to play with my new classes and all that stuff. But it's the same level. It's the exact same level. There's little changes here and there that you will pick up on, but for the most part, I'm playing back through the first level of the game. See? Let's just come in here, find the guards have all been butchered, grab equipment, move on. And there's nothing here. It's if you like Vermintide, if you're still actively playing Vermintide, you'll like this. You will enjoy this. You will, honest to God, have a good time if you like Vermintide and you're still playing Vermintide too. Some of the quality of life updates are very welcome. Stuff like my special bar charges on kills now, so I can rapidly fire it off again. Your characters visibly seem to have better hitboxes and more precise hitboxes. The enemies are a little easier to deal with and dodge because of these two things. You have genuinely better hitboxes on your foes. The weapons all seem to have a slight damage upgrade. I mean, we're playing on veteran. But I'll just give you an example. You'll see that my little purple bar down there ticks up when I kill things. Especially when I kill specials. It ticks up naturally at a rate, but I've noticed that you get to use your special ability a lot more. Particularly when I was doing the Twitch play earlier today, that special bar would recharge itself in a heartbeat. The Twitch play has been balanced a bit better so that you get a lot more punish or reward, as well as you don't just get strictly punish. Actually, I want that. And of course, now we have to deal with this. And that's just, like, enemies drop loot. There's a lot more loot dice. Like, you guys have seen 3. We walked out of a mission with 9. There's a lot more loot dice on these levels. I suspect because I didn't find any grimoires. So, like, if I go down here where there was a grimoire last time, it ain't here no more. There's a potion. But there's no grim. So, I highly suspect because there are no grimoires, these levels just get that actually makes this even more disappointing to me. Is the lack of grimoire means that there is no reason really to take a good look around. I've tried really searching for them for hours at a time. As you can see, I can just sit here and hack through these enemies all day long, and they can't touch me. But I have not found any grimoires. I've not found any tomes. I haven't found anything. It's just, they're not here. They've been taken out of the level, apparently. Completely. See what I mean? And that's heart-wrenching. It gives me no reason to explore the level. It gives me no reason to slow down and take a look. It's just, go. Don't worry about it. Go. Which is a sad state for this type of remaster to be in. That's one of the core game mechanics. That's one of the risk versus reward things you have to weigh, really. And instead, we're left with a level that feels a little stilted, actually. And a little too easy. I appreciate the buffs to characters that I'm receiving. I appreciate the... I don't know what's going on with my sound right now. I think my sound just went out. You guys... No, there's no sound. But then there's bugs like this. There's no sound. With the new update, I have encountered some enemies in what can be considered Vermintide T-pose, which is a little annoying. That's not a good sign for your game if you're enemies are showing up in T-pose and just gliding on the floor. I've noticed that there are some enemies that don't even react to our presence occasionally. It's like these were remastered, but not fully properly. And there goes my sound again. And there's no known reason why my sound just went out. My sound just went out. And it doesn't come back until now. And I'm like, and there it goes again. Make sure it's not my headset that's knocking my sound out. No, it's not my headset. My sound's just going out. Hold on, let me check this. Yeah, sound just drops. And that is a problem in a game like, see, that's an enemy just standing there ignoring our presence. And his body just disappeared when he died. And now I have to play the rest of this level. So I'm glad that during this recording, I am actually glad to show you this. This is now a thing. They've done a bunch of updates, but it feels like they've done updates and then broken other pieces of the puzzle. Which, I'm sorry, but I would rather have my old game back than have you do updates that break the puzzle. Problem solved. Because I solve problems. That's how this dwarf works. But there's that, and then the quest reward system hasn't been improved at all. So you're just back to your regular grinding, hoping you get something or hoping you craft something. You still have no control over what the item's qualities are. So you're just stuck there, re-rolling it until you get what you want. I would not mind paying more to, instead of rolling, be able to just pick something on the table. I get that might be part of the random nature of Warhammer, but I know that there's supposed to be an audio effect when I get hit with a Gromnil armor that deafens me for a second. Like a concussion. But I'm just not... I'm playing through this and I feel like, one, I'm overpowered as fuck. Even playing this level on Legendary feels stiltedly like it's underpowers. So even playing this level on Legendary, I just feel way too potent. I don't like that, you know, the remastering idea here is to integrate the remaster into the story. I don't remember this part, so you're just telling me this is the part you actually worked on? And then see if I go in for this secret over here, which I remember how to get to. You have to jump on that torch. It's a speed potion now. And it's nothing... It was not worth doing. It wasn't worth learning how to do that hassle to not get a tome or a grimoire. Like, that was the point. Was it was supposed to be hard, because first-person platforming is always hard in a video game. And instead, these levels feel... It feels like the enemy is funneled through too many openings. Because all you have to do is just close off a certain number of openings with your party, and so they're funneled constantly to you. Rather than those big, open, arena-style environments you had to deal with in Vermintide 2 that were critical to learn how to deal with the enemy in the open. I mean, here, we're just going to pull back. We're just going to pull back into here and force it to fight us in a claustrophobic area. Is what I would do at this point, because getting thrown off is not okay. Of course, I have the ability that makes that work against bosses. So he's focused on me now, and my party can just tear him apart while I sit up here where he can't come. So you see how this might be an issue. And again, we don't get what we normally do. We get loot dice. Loot dice. Those are not very valuable towards that chest. They're actually kind of shitty towards that chest. They're the least valuable thing. Completing the mission is worth more on your chest upgrade than your average loot die. Down to 1 shot of ammunition too, because they've moved a bunch of the ammunition stores as well. So I'm just out of bullets. Don't bring a low ammunition count weapon. You're gonna end up paying for it a lot. They try to explain away the chaos as being a second-rate spell, when this should be a level where we strictly face Skaven. I get that would be less challenging, but the fact of the matter is, if you wanted to keep this within your own story parameters, this should be a level where we just have to fight Skaven. By the way, Saltspire's default costume, his Inquisitor, that skirt he wears flies up on this elevator every fucking time. It's fucking priceless. That bug has not even been fixed. It's now just a part of the game's lore and canon. That Saltspire's skirt flies up on it. Come on. Really? Really? I wish I had more positive things to say about this. I really do. I am going to give you guys some positives to the game in its current with this DLC, but I really wish I had more good to say about it, Fat Shark. But remastering just 3 levels, when previous DLCs have given us 3 or even 5 brand new levels. Like, if you guys were going to remaster, you should have remastered all of the previous game and given us the whole thing. Just giving us 3 levels for a game for levels we already paid for, by the way. Not great, honestly. And the previous levels, even remastered as you've done them, are not very good for Vermintide 2. The Vermintide 1 level design is really showing the difference in how the Vermintide 2 mechanics just break it in horrible, terrible methods. And right now, I should have temporary hit points from killing things. So that temporary hit point bar should have been dropping, and it hasn't. And that is just another one of the bugs that has come out since this is... I'm glad that all the bugs are actually happening while I'm recording for once. So I can just show you them. This area has tons of potions and hit point pickups. And it's like it's hand-holding, babying us. And even on Legendary, these are present. This is just a handhold and a babying. And we're supposed to just like revel in the slaughter. And this level just has one giant defect. And that is this platform up here. If you master just staying on the horn, they can't get to you. And again, my volume's going in and out. And I'm not appreciating it. And the enemies, again, this is just a slaughter. On any difficulty. Even the hardest difficulties. This is a massacre to me. They're easily funneled at me up these stairs. My one person who's been lagging behind this entire time goes down. But they are just getting massacred. And it's no fun. This does not bring me... I mean, it's satisfying initially to just have this power to just hamstring mass genocide these enemies. But it loses its charm quickly. And without the open, almost indefensible arena-style combat of the second game that the second game really brings with its map design, where everything is super improved. This thing's old map design is terrible with the special abilities that we have now in the second game. I mean, just look at the damage that I'm just soaking and not caring. I shouldn't be able to do this. And if this is your veteran difficulty, if this is the difficult first, like, step up I'm supposed to have to earn, it could use some improvement. Oh, God. That was the one time I was in trouble. We've played this entire level. I've been in trouble once. Apparently our wizard's now in trouble too. And I can just come down here, pick this up, take this up to her, fix her situation, and move on. So let me find our sorcerer and fix that, and then we're done. And this is... I guess it's lost its charm. The lack of new enemies. The insulting rehash of a map. Even a map as iconic as this one. The insulting rehash. And the general just seeming lack of care to make sure that they remaster the maps in such a way that doesn't break the enemies and also ensures that the challenge is restored to the game with these remastered maps. Because as I said, with all the special abilities and shit, this horde just gets turned into chop suey. And now, instead of feeling desperate during this time, I can just casually walk around. Why? Why am I allowed to just casually walk around? Why is this not more difficult? Why is this not... What are we waiting for now? I don't even take damage from the fall anymore. So, I'll give you my final thoughts here in a moment. So, on paper, this concept of back to Ubersreik sounds awesome. But it's executed poorly. The levels are not remastered in a way that is more conducive to the Vermintide 2 style of map design. So they don't compensate for our new abilities, for our new weapons, for all of the experience that your character has learned. They don't compensate for any of that. The enemies in these levels, there's just bugs in here that annoy me, that don't make any sense. The lack of any true change to the game, like any real, particularly to the loot system. They're still using the loot system from before, and it just pisses me off. I'll show you this real quick. I just opened a box. More useless junk that I'm going to throw into my craft and just one of them's a fucking white. I'm just going to throw these in and recycle them. There's nothing I want. I have no choice. I can't, like... I just... Fat Shark, what are you doing? You had a great initial opening concept. Amazing initial opening concept. going back and replaying these 3 levels and comparing them to the challenge of the other levels in the game, they're not very challenging. And I don't feel like this is... I played through all 3 of these levels in one shot with the Twitch integration trying to fuck me the entire time. We've had we still have game crashes at the end of the level. We still have issues with only getting one weapon. It just... It feels like this idea was half-baked. If you had remastered 3 levels that we liked, that might be part of it too. That might be part of it too. Because I don't know anybody that repeatedly plays Horn of Magus and Engines of War. I know people who repeatedly play the Sack Grain level. I know people who repeatedly play the sewer levels. I know people who would repeatedly play the final level with the White Rat just because it was a super hard challenge. But you remastered like one level like the Garden of Moor that I genuinely enjoy, and then you remastered the first level and Engines of War, which Engines of War was just like, I played it the required number of times to get all the difficulty settings beat, and then said, I'm never coming back to this level. This level sucks. And so, what it boils down to is, yes, these levels look prettier, and I'm not going to deny that they play smoother in some areas, but the added bugs that seem to be happening, particularly even on live stream on Twitch, there were just so many bugs. The fact you've only really added one weapon. And once I complete the 3 levels, there's no end cutscene to explain what I've uncovered as some dark truth within the city. We ran through and explored every single nook and cranny that we could find. And we couldn't find any tomes or grimoires. Nothing. And so when we finished these levels, it was dissatisfying. It was disheartening. Because it felt like we just played through the old game with new abilities, and we're just getting an easy steamroll. So, I like it, but I don't feel like it's a worthy addition. And I feel like Fat Shark could go back to what they promised to do first, and then towards the end of the game's lifespan be doing levels like this, unless you're abandoning the game and this is your new DLC design is just remaster the old game, which is not going to fare favorably. So, I can't recommend this DLC at all. I can't. I could only recommend the previous DLC because it was interesting, and because the levels were fun, and because the actual gameplay itself was fun. This is not going to bring people back to Vermintide 2. If anything, this is going to pull people out of Vermintide 2 and make them go play other stuff. And that's what it really boils down to. Having put 186 hours into this game, I just uninstalled it because the new DLC just disgusts me. So Fat Shark, get your act together. If you're gonna do remastery, do it right. And complete your roadmap of DLC and development first. Then do remastery, please. don't do what you just, don't do this. This is just not good. And that's my final verdict. So I'll see you guys next time. Here's the previous Warhammer 40k game. It's actually good. It's actually good. The presentation's a little lacking, but the game itself is good. And here is another random review. So I hope to see you guys next time. Please do check out my description right now because I am getting published. And I will see you guys on tonight for live stream. In the meantime, good night, everybody.